Hi, so in this video we're going to look at scientific notation to normal form, focusing on big numbers only. Now if you're watching this video you should already know how to write a really big number like 6 million into scientific notation. So this is technically part 2 of a series of lessons. So from the previous lesson we were given really big numbers like this, like the 540,000, and asked to write it into that form. Today we're going to be doing the reverse and we're going to be writing it from scientific notation into what's called normal form. It's just a fancy way of saying write it out in full. Now remember, what we're really doing here is we're starting with the number 5.4 and we're timesing by 10 5 times over. That's what the power tells us. So one way of doing it is you could start with the 5.4 and you could imagine moving that decimal point 5 places. Or we can look at this. So basically, an easy way of doing it is write down whatever number I've given you without the decimal point. And then the power tells us how many places that point should have moved. Remember, the power also tells us not just the number of places the dot moved, but it tells us the number of digits that are after the 5. So after my number 5, there was 5 digits, the 4 with 4 zeros. And that might help as well for some of you. So if I give you the number 3 times 10 to the power 6, that means we need to times it by 10 6 times over. So effectively we're adding 6 zeros, or we're adding 6 digits after the number 3. So this becomes 3 with 6 zeros, and I'm just going to space them out ever so slightly so you can see it. So that would be 3 million. I have got 6 digits after the 3. I have times by 10 6 times. I don't want you to think though, oh, it's just add 6 zeros, because it's only going to work for that when it's a single digit number like a 3 or a 7 or an 8 at the front. So with the number 4.5 times 10 to the power 2, we're going to write down the 4 and the 5. Now the 2 tells us that the decimal point had to move 2 places, so from here it had to go 1, 2, and it would end up here. Now that makes my number 450. Let me just think of that another way. If I write down the 4, then the 5, the 2 tells us there should be 2 digits after the 4. I've only got 1, so I need to add another 0. Either way, whichever way you think of it, my answer is 450. That is 4.5 times 10 twice over. Let's look at a couple more. So 7.86 times 10 to the power 4. So the 4 tells us we need to move that dot 4 places. So 786 means I've moved the dot 2 places. I've got another 2 to go, so 2 zeros. And I double check, look, there are 4 digits there after the 7. My next number, 2.021 times 10 to the power 5. So I'm going to write down the 021 means I've moved it 3 places. 1, 2, 3. But I was to move it 5. So I've got another 2 to go. So another 2 zeros to add. And let's have a quick double check. Yep, there's 5 numbers after my 2. The next one, times 10 to the power 6. I can move this dot 3 places just now, giving me 3146. I needed to move it 6 places, so I need to add 3 more zeros. So my answer is 3,146,000. On example F, to times 10 to the power 1, I'm only going to move that dot 1 place. So it's only going to move to there. So that's going to be, 35.6. And that's a wee trick one because it is still a decimal at the end. So hopefully that's been okay and that's enough examples. If not, have a look at the ones on the next slide. Pause your video, give them a wee try, and then unpause it and you should see some answers there if you want to. Okay? Thanks very much for watching this video.